Ah, come on. We on? Been a while since we've done this. Oh man, this is not looking good. Not seeing anything. Yo. Hey, are we on? Can you hear? Hello. Wait. Hold on. Are we on? Been a been a while. Well, okay, now okay. Hey, second flight. How are ya? Okay, so the Twitch app is now showing that we are live in session. Hello. Hello, everyone. Yes. All right. The Twitch app has changed. OBS has changed. OBS now, by the way, is M1. Is native for M1's Apple M1s. Good. So a lot of changes since the last time we were on the air in April. Yep. Okay, looks like we're live. Look like session and stuff. We're getting. I'm a little early. Usually, I don't like to show up this early because I don't like to show up this early because we actually record the intro stuff as well. But day one is going to be important because, hey, yeah, day one is important to get like everything set up. Usually in the future, when we do these Twitch streams, we're gonna start like what 4:28, 4:29 Eastern Time PM. Um, you know, because we don't want to record like the setting up stuff. But this is good. All right, this is very important, extremely important, especially for all the viewers that are out there. Thank you for tuning in early. Rich man, poor man. Hi, second flight. Very important. We need to do this. Mic check, audio check. How does it look on Twitch? How does it sound? I need someone to chime in. Put right in the chat. How's the audio? How's the video? I need someone to chime in. Come on. Hello? Okay. Okay, good. Yeah, no one wants to watch a Twitch stream with horrible audio and video. And we can see the screen. Okay, you can see the screen. This is exactly what we need. Yep, you can see the screen. I can move. One thing I try not to do, just for setup, we've done this fifth season number 5. I don't like to start the screen over here anymore because, of course, like my head is in the bottom right of the screen. Yes. If you're curious what my setup is, it's actually not that elaborate. I unlike every other like programmer in the world, I only use one monitor. I only use one monitor. There is one webcam. It's just a simple Logitech webcam. It can do 4K, but we don't need to do that. I'm using OBS for streaming. I'm using OBS, which is free and open source. Now available for the M1 native for Mac. And it's also one more thing. I also have a green screen. This was a gift from my friend Riverside in 2020 when we had to do DEF CON remotely. So I want to thank Riverside for giving me a gift that keeps on giving. A green screen. Yes, a nice green screen. It had really been something that paid off. Wait a minute. You know what? Come to think of it, it's kind of hard to believe. We're going into year 3 right now. We're going into year 3 of me doing these Twitch streams. Um, thoroughly enjoy. All right. Now we got 1 more minute left, and 4:30. I'm just gonna kick it out. I'm gonna kick off. No elaborate music, none of that stuff. We're just gonna go at 4:30. And of course, it goes without saying if you have any question, just feel free to add on the chat. Yeah. So of course I can read the messages right on my iPad in front. And here we are. 4:30 right on the dot. Hello everyone. Hello. Good to be back. Great to be back. Great to be back. Hello, 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 and none. Yes. Hello, hello, everyone. Yes. Feels great to be back. Um, I don't like doing these Twitch sessions. I love doing these Twitch sessions online. So if you're new, if you're a new student, or if you're a newcomer, if you just followed subscription, if you just followed this channel, you found me on Twitter for this. Uh, welcome, welcome. Uh, this Twitch stream on Thursdays is really my introduction to security course at Tufts University. Yeah, so this is actually an academic course, a real academic course that is actually I make available for everyone, the public, on Twitch. Yeah, so welcome everyone. Hello. And yeah, I get my name and all that stuff. I'm Ming Chow. I'm associate teaching professor. I have to do that spiel. But you may be wondering, like, wait a minute, you're offering a cybersecurity course on Twitch? Yeah, the answer is yes. Been doing this for, this is season number 5. The 5th semester I'm doing this. You may be wondering why. Why am I doing this on Twitch? Why am I opening up my class to the world on Twitch on Thursdays? There is a small reason and a big reason. Let me start with the small reason. I tell my in-class students that, having this format, you meet once a week in person, and then you meet online on Twitch, you get really the best of both worlds. Yeah, I think a lot of people here are getting real sick of Zoom-based education. This ain't Zoom. I mean, this is not Zoom. So Twitch is a lot more fun. But the other thing is, and Twitch is, by the way, a great environment because, especially on the chat, I don't know, you look at all the users here and like you can't figure out, who's a student or not, because we could have having cybersecurity professionals actually on this stream. Hello, Elite Particle. Hello, Slapcake. Hello. Yep. Just to show you that I am seeing the messages on the screen. Yeah, you get the best of both worlds. And yes, these are recorded. These are made available, linked right after the session is over. But a bigger reason why I offered my class on Twitch on Thursday is it's a bigger thing, which is it's to democratize the education. Too many people around the world right now don't know where to start when trying to learn cybersecurity, and there's just a ton of people, young and old, trying to learn cybersecurity. But it's extremely overwhelming. It's extremely overwhelming, and no one knows where to begin. And if you actually try to look up, if you do a search for learning cybersecurity, you're going to get like a bazillion answers, which doesn't help anyone. So I feel, when I offer my course on Twitch as a one-stop shopping area, it's a good starting point. And that's, well, we're going to kick it right off the bat. Right now is today's session is we got to get the basics right. And one of the real core skills for any cybersecurity practitioner is to use the command line. Okay, is to use the command line interface. If you're on Mac, if you're a Mac fan or Windows user or Linux user, it's also known as a terminal. Okay, and why is using the command line such a critical skill for cybersecurity practitioners and professionals? Well, there's so many different reasons. So I can name at least 3 of them off the top of my head right now. Say if you are an attacker, say you are a attacker, hacker, pen tester, whatever, when you actually break into a system, when you gain access to a system, usually what you get is a command line. You won't be getting a nice glorified, graphical user interface and all that stuff. Okay? So that's number 1, right off the bat, right there. If you're an attacker, you know, when you actually gain access to a system, you break into a system, um, you're going to get access to usually a command line. That's number one. Number two is the workflow. This one is extremely important. Um, you know, we are generally typists by nature. And using the command line will really, really speed up your work. And also, the other thing is, when you actually get comfortable using the command line, you can chain multiple commands to do what you want in one line. That's for advanced users. That's number two. Number three, um, if you're going to be doing, just a follow up of number three, in terms of workflow, if you're going to be doing a lot of different tasks, like threat intelligence or something, you're going to rely on tools that are, well, mainly for the command line, no graphical user interface. There's a lot of tools out there that don't have a graphical user interface, because you have a graphical user interface for a tool. It's a lot of bloat, and more bloat, more code, like to generate the windows and all that stuff. Uh, there's more potential for vulnerabilities. Yeah, yeah. Number four, last but not number four, in terms of why the command line, as you will see throughout this whole course, many, and I mean many, many popular tools, how they actually are built and developed under the hood, rely on uh, command line tools and regular commands. So under the hood, how a lot of security tools work is, well, commands. A good example is forensics tools, when you actually want to, like, recover files that have been deleted and all that stuff. Okay, so that's why the command line is is important. In fact, I want to show you something that we did this year at DEF CON, the arguably the most famous hacking conference around. If you go to wallachsheep.com, one of the events that we did, and we'll talk more about the Wall of Sheep next week, on next Thursday, when we talk about networking and network traffic. So one of the things that we had this year was a Linux trainer. And for those of you who actually showed up for some of you folks who actually showed up at our village and did the Linux trainer, thank you, because this was completely brand new in 2022. Here it is. Knowing how to use a Linux command line is a critical skill for any cybersecurity practitioner. This trainer will have 10 problems with some of the most fundamental Linux commands. This trainer is new for people in the field and for those who want to hone their Linux command line. Ooh. Okay, so that being said, let's actually now get started. Like, what do you need in order to follow along today? Okay, what you need to follow along, if you're on Mac OS or if you're on straight Linux, you just open up your terminal. You can just open up your terminal, just like that. Now, if you're a Windows user, it gets a little bit more complicated. If you're a Windows user, it is strongly recommended that you use, where am I? Here it is. Strongly recommended. You actually can install what is called the Windows subsystem for Linux, WSL, for Windows, on Windows 11, Windows 10, and Windows 10 or above. Okay, so you actually get the full native Linux experience on Windows. And Windows is Microsoft was really smart to do this. It's because, like, oh my God, a lot of people actually use the command line, and especially Linux and Unix commands for workflow purposes. We got to capitalize on bringing the developers back to use Windows, and that's the reason why Windows made this move. Okay, so platform independent, but you may be wondering, whoa, what is this Linux versus the Unix thing? Here's the thing: there are differences between Linux and Unix, But generally speaking, the core commands, which we'll cover today, are largely the same. So you can use these commands on most Linux distributions, on Linux distributions, such as Ubuntu, Kali, Debian, Arch, um, and on Unix environment too, which is like things like Mac OS is based off. Okay, so getting started is just firing up like a terminal, just firing up a terminal on Mac OS and on Linux. If you're on Windows, strongly recommended that you use the Windows subsystem for Linux. That's for Windows people. Now, there is another option which is something that I've done for years in this course, but starting this year I'm not going to recommend it. In cybersecurity, especially for anyone that's doing cybersecurity, as a profession, or if you're a learner, um, for years people have recommended to use something called a virtual machine. A virtual machine is just a computer running on top of your computer. So you can run like Windows on top of a Mac, Linux on top of a Mac, and all that. So a popular software that is used to run computers on top of computers is VirtualBox. You got a VirtualBox. VirtualBox is free and open source. It is available for Macs, Windows, and Linux system. But there's a caveat. VirtualBox currently does not only support Intel-based computers, not the new Apple M1s, which most Mac users are now slowly migrating to. Okay, so yeah, VirtualBox. The other one is VMware Workstation. VMware Workstation is another virtual machine option, which allows you to run an operating system on top of your current operating system. Okay. It's also QEMU. There's a bunch of different options. Yeah. But this year, starting this year in this semester, we're not going to be using virtual machines for this course. Reason being, and there's a number of reasons. Number one, anytime when we use virtual machines, of course, like 20% of the questions on Piazza become, oh, my virtual machine couldn't work. Oh, the networking couldn't work. Oh, it's too slow. Oh, it's taking up too much memory. Oh, this is actually using up disk space. All true. We're not going to do that anymore. So we're not going to use virtual machines anymore. Furthermore, for a lot of people who just got the more recent Macs with a newer chip, VMware VirtualBox won't work. You won't be able to run Intel-based operating system on top of your Mac. So that's a no-go. If you have a Chromebook, you won't be able to run a virtual machine anyway, because I already have one built in. So you can't run a virtual machine on top of a virtual machine. Well, you can, but it's just not going to work well at all. Okay? So if you can run virtual machines, the distribution, the Linux distribution that people run on their as a virtual machine is something called Kali Linux. So Kali Linux is a Debian-based Linux distribution geared for information security tasks. So it comes with basically all the tools you need, so many tools that you either need or want to do cybersecurity work. I just want to bring this up, what we did in the past. Yes, of course it comes with the terminal, but it also comes with all the tools necessary for this course and then some. Very popular in the security community, very popular with both with professionals and with learners. But because of the nuances of using virtual machines and getting it set up, we're not going to be using virtual machines this semester at all. Okay? All the tools that you need in one environment. Okay, that's nice. Okay? We're not going to be using PowerShell. We're not going to be using PowerShell. So that's only for that PowerShell is now platform independent, but it started for Windows. It was made by Microsoft, built in for Windows systems. No longer, we're not going to be using PowerShell. These commands generally won't work on PowerShell. So these commands will work on Mac OS, any Linux distribution, most Unix distributions. This also include if you SSH into, if you're a Tufts student, if you SSH into homework.cs.tufts.edu. Okay? All right. Well, now enough babbling here. So, enough babbling. I don't think I need this anymore. Let's quit this out. All right. Commands. Now here I am. I just opened up my my terminal. Can you all see? Can you all see? Okay. So, where am I? Well, one of the first commands that, hello Magnolia Flower, hello Sam0218. If you want to know where are you on the system, currently on the system, you type pwd. So on my Mac OS right now, if I run pwd, I am in /users/mchow/my documents folder. Okay, yes, I am in my documents folder. I don't need to open up the Finder window to do all that. PWD. What is PWD? Well, one of the important commands in a Linux environment is man, man. What the man is for manual. What manual page do you want? Well, I want man pwd. So, the man page. This is what you call the man page of the pwd command. Now, Rob Graham said something really, really interesting, which is something I believe. Man pages are not for newbies. Man pages, actually, he wrote this down. Hold on, I do need Firefox again. Where the hell are you, Rob? There you go. Man is a command you should not run if you want to help for a command. Man pages are designed to drive newbies. They're only useful if you're already mostly an expert with the command that you desired help on. Man pages lists all the possible features of a program, but does not highlight examples or most common features or most common way to use the command. All right. But man is important because, well, it's like the full manual page. And you know that no one likes to read the manual. But however, does serve, man pages do serve as a comprehensive reference. Hey, Threat Research, been a while. How you been? How you been? Okay, but what is important is the name, the synopsis, and the brief description. So what the pwd command does is just return your working directory name. Okay, it actually wrote the absolute path name will return the absolute path of the current working directory to the standard output, which is here. Now, if you want to get out of the man page, you hit Q. You hit the Q, lowercase q. Okay. All right. So we are currently in the in my documents folder on Mac OS. Now, can I actually, what can I do now? Well, there's many things. First thing we want to do is to list all the files. What's currently in my documents folder? Do an ls. ls is the list of files. All right, currently in my documents folder, there are the following files. Boot Camp, Defense Against the Dark Arts, SecList, Vulnerable Voter Database, Web Engineering, and a whole bunch of these different files. Now, you do man ls, what it does is just list directory contents. That's what ls stands for. Okay? And there's so many options for ls. Like, these are for advanced users. It's a lot of options. Case matters. Uppercase versus lowercase, they do matter. Okay? So if you want a complete reference of a command, run man followed by the command. Now, if you remember, ls lists all the files in your current working directory. My current directory is the documents folder. But I did not say something very specific. A file can mean many different things. A file could mean a shortcut, a folder, or like a document. Oh, yep, vulnerable voter database. Yep, we're going to be using that later on in this course. Yep. All right. Now, if you actually go and look at the user interface for my documents folder, you notice that they're all folders. They're not like text files or any of that stuff. None of that, none of that, none of that. Okay? They're all folders. Okay? Wait a minute. How in the world can I actually determine if a file is a regular file or is it a folder? Okay? I want to run man ls again. And there is a option that is available called, it's lowercase l. You don't need to know, okay, this is very important. You don't need to know all the options for a command. Also extremely important. I'm going to say this many times today. You're not going to master the command line in one sitting. It took me 10 plus years to be really, really, really good with the Linux command line, and there's still tons of stuff for me to learn. I repeat, you're never going to master the command line in one day or one sitting. It's impossible. Not going to happen. It takes years, countless years of practice to be really, really good. Here it is. The lowercase letter L lists files in the long format as described in the long format section below. Okay, we're not going to do that. Oh my God. Chris, how are you? How are you? You're still good. You're still at Galwa and you're still in Portland. So I got a Freedom Pfeiffer, Chris Pfeiffer, everyone, former student. Hey, Chris, you still got that, those, what they call it, retro video game systems I sold to you? I sold them to you for way cheap. I sold them for you for way cheap. Now here is ls minus L, what they call the long format. Now this is important to know. Okay? So now you see all of the files in the current folder. You see the timestamp, okay? You see the timestamp of, I believe, creation. You see the timestamp of creation of the file, the size. You have, okay, now the important parts are these columns that I am highlighting. The one that starts with a D, don't worry about the 15, the mchow, and the staff. So I'm going to make a copy of this. I'm going to open up, text editor. I'm using Visual Studio Code. Now this, I'm going to show you that first letter that you see here, that D. What do you think that D stands for? That first D equals directory. Okay? I'm going to make it something. L equals link. Okay? So now, I want to talk about the next three tuples. In this case, it's RWX. RWX. This is what you call the permission that user has. Okay? Now, file permissions. Then the next one, in this case, is WX. Now this one is the R-X. These are the file permission. These next three tuples, it's called the tuples. The first tuple that you really see is RWX. The second tuple that you see is R-X. And then the final tuple is R-X. That the world has. Okay? Oh, the mchow. I believe this is it. No. mchow is the owner of the file. Staff the group that can access. Okay. Chris, is this correct? Am I actually doing this correctly? Okay. So this is how you read a tuple. This is how you read a tuple. D stands for directory. That first letter, D, that stands for a directory. If you see an L, that means a link. Then you see RWX. Okay? RWX is the first tuple, is the file permission that the user or the owner has. The owner of, in this case, of the file bootcamp is me, mchow. Oops. Okay. The R-X means the file permission that the group has. The group in this case is the staff. Okay? And last but not least is R-X. It's a file permission that the group, that the whole world, anyone in the world has access to. Okay? This is file permission that the world has. R-X, sorry. So I'm the owner and the group is staff. Okay? So, file permissions. R stands for read. W for write. Okay? And X, execute. So what this means is the bootcamp folder, because it starts with the letter D, is readable, writable, and executable by the owner, who is mchow. The group, with the staff, the bootcamp folder can be readable and executable. That makes, like, you know, if you want to open up a folder, it has to be executable. Okay, in the whole world, if you're, like, say, for example, a different user on a system, like a different user that is not mchow, you can also read and read and execute the folder bootcamp. So all of these things, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 folders here. They're all owned by me. They're all readable, writable, and executable by me. Okay? What is the ampersand? Yeah, that's a good question. What is the ampersand? So, RZ. That's a good question. I like that question. Okay? The @ symbol. This is where we do, what is the @ symbol in next to file permission? I like that question. Thanks, RZ, and thanks, Sam. Here it is, and this is where we actually, here it is. What does the @ symbol mean next to the permission? Yeah, we'll accept all the cookies. I'm in the process of making a website, yada, yada, yada. Okay, I found the answer on super user. No. Really? According to this post, it is to denote additional extended. Okay, does that look correct? Here it is. Let's do the, here it is. Let's go to server fault. Boom. This looks legit. What is the @ symbol in file permission setting? The @ symbol signifies that the file has extended attributes. Those attributes are used to signify that the file came from a package, it was downloaded from the internet, etc. There you go. I'm going to paste that. It's a great question. Great question. That's the @ symbol. Okay, that the file came from a package was downloaded, will show you the extended, yada yada yada. You can also remove them as well too. Interesting. You can also remove it as well. Great question that was asked. Thanks, RZ2750. Thank you. Okay. So here I am on this current directory. So if I actually want to see, what folder do you want access to? What folder do you want to open up here? Give me a folder. I don't care. Someone chime in. Which folder do you want me to get into? What folder do you want to see the contents of? Come on. Someone. Alright, you want defense, you want boot camp? Defense. Scripts. Not Uber. Alright, let's do a couple of them. Let's go to not Uber. CD not Uber. CD is change directory. Very important command. Change directory is not Uber. Now you notice on my command line it says not Uber. Alright. I'm going to clear the screen. Okay, by the way, the clear command just clears the screen. Now, if I do an ls in not Uber, I see a Docker file, proc file, readme.md, docker.compose.yml, packet.json, server.js. If I do an ls minus l this time, you see the same thing. You see the extended view. Now, because now you see that none of these files actually have a D on them, that means it's just like a file that you can actually see. Okay? So if there's no D, it is nothing. It's just a plain dash. I mean, it's a file that you can view. I guess so. I've never heard that before, threat research. I've never heard that before, but now it makes sense. Totally makes sense. Okay? We have 6 files here. So the CD command means to change directory. So if you do a pwd this time, yeah, we're in user/mchow/document/not Uber. Okay, so that being said, all these files here are writable by me, mchow, but readable by the rest of the world. Okay, so if you actually want to take a look at the contents of a file on a command line, there's many different ways. One really simple way is use something called cat. What file do you want? Like server.js? Cat server.js. What cat server.js means is to concatenate. Cat concatenate means just, well, throw everything onto the screen. Okay? Okay, if I do an ls minus l again, you can also do more. And if you don't want to just spit everything out to the screen, so you do more server.js. There you go. And then you have to hit the enter key to just go all the way down at the end. You can view all of it. And you enter space to actually really speed it up. There's also less. Less server.js. What? What's the difference between more and less? Man, more. Oh, really? Less is the opposite of more. Less is a program similar to more, but allows backward movement in the file as well as forward movement. So when you actually do less server.js, you can go up and down in a file. But you can't, like if you do only more, which is what I used to do, you can't go upwards. There's only one way. Oh, actually you can. No. Some people have a debate on using, some people like to use more, less than more. Okay? Now, I'm going to clear the screen again. So if you want to go back one directory, cd, and then you do ... CD dot dot means to go back up a directory. So you're going to go back up to documents. Do an ls minus l. There you go. So I'm back at my documents folder. Okay. So dot dot means go back up a directory. If I do cd dot, which is totally legal, cd dot means your current working directory. What cd dot means is just, well, go to my current working directory. CD. Okay. There's also cd tilde. What the tilde means, the tilde is your home directory. Tilde is everyone that has an account on a Linux or a Unix-based system has what you call a home folder. In this case, on my Mac OS is /user/mchow. Okay? But if I do an ls, you can see my desktop documents, download, library, movies, you know, that kind of stuff. Okay? CD tilde is always going to bring you back to a place called home. Okay? Oh, CD dash. CD dash will actually go back for your previous directory. Yeah, thanks, sdeathv3. Thank you. So if I go to my desktop, CD desktop, if I do an ls right now, I might go to CD desktop, it's not going to work. No such file or directory. Can't, because the desktop is not in my documents folder. It is, however, if I go to CD desktop now, damn. Also, if you hit the up arrow key a bunch of times, you can see all the previous commands that you have. You can go back to a previous command that you typed in. Let's clear the screen. You go to hit the up arrow on your keyboard. Up arrow. Okay, CD dot dot and so, well, no. Student, that actually makes a good sign. Okay, hold on. So let me just go back to, let me give you a good example. CD tilde, pwd, I'm at my home directory. CD documents. But watch what happens if I do cd/etc. Oh, no. cd/, let me give you something I know. US Sella. Oh. User/local/seller. Oh, CD user CD dash local CD dash bin. Okay. Tildes, yeah, so you CD into your home, so you here's one below. But if I do CD up a directory, go back to local. Now, if I go and do CD/etc, so I'm on my etc folder, but if I do CD dash, it's not going to go back up to the root directory, which is a slash. It should go back to my user local. See the difference? So there is a difference between a dash and a dot dot. Now, if I do a CD etc again, let me do that again, but if I do CD dot dot, pwd slash, you see the difference? Huge difference. Great questions, though. Great questions. I want to go back. Okay, you can also go back, as VibZ28 said, go back using dot dot slash dot dot slash. You can go back multiple directories if you go clear the screen, cd dot dot slash dot dot slash. But this one makes no sense because you are actually on, you're in root anyway. So the root directory of a file system, this is, if you go to cd slash, the slash is the root. Okay, this is like at the very highest level. Okay, level 0. This is where everything on the system is. If you want to go back into my own folder as cd's users, it's only 2 users, shared and mchow, cd mchow. I go back to my own stuff. Okay. Now, if I go to cd dash dot slash, we're going to see dot slash again in this course? Absolutely. PWD, I'm at the root directory. Let me go back to cd slash users. You can do multiple directories. You're going to go to slash users slash mchow slash desktop. Okay. In my desktop, I have 2 files. As you can see on my desktop on the very right, graphical user interface, gear, and then output. There's the reason why I have those files here. Okay. Yeah. But if I do this following, yes, if I do a bunch of dot slash, this is still going to work. This is still going to work. This still works. The only thing is it just stops at the root. Just stops at the root. Oh, ls minus l. Okay, so we did pwd lscd. Oh yeah, how about this one? cd tilde slash desktop. Clear ls minus l. So what was it? Threat research that said here we have 2 files that have a @ symbol. That also means the mark of the devil. Both files were downloaded from the internet, and I can confirm both files were downloaded from the internet. How do you get your terminal? Oh, this is a good one. How do you get your terminal to say mothership? Yeah. That one's a Mac. This is a Mac OS question. So one way you can do it the doltish way, the Mac OS way, is go to System Preferences. Go to your go to sharing, and just go to change your computer name. Okay. So again, you go to System Preferences. Go to your sharing, and just say computer name, mothership. But if you are on Linux land, if you're on like Debian or Ubuntu, Debian, change host name. They call it host name. How to change a host name in Debian. So what you do, there's a couple of ways. You just type the, you can always use a command called host name. Yep. If you're on a Unix system, a Unix-based system, it's host name. Again, there are command differences on operating system. But the core stuff like cd, ls, man, that stuff relatively stays the same. Alright, here I am on my desktop. I have on my desktop 2 files, as you can see, gear.source.27iv7.txt, and then some output file. I don't know what the hell it is. Okay, why do I do this? The next command that's important is how to make a directory. Man mkdir, make directories. Okay, wait, let me do that again, we're getting fast. Make dir mkdir, make directories. So make dir creates a directories or direct operands in that particular order using, okay, whatever. Alright, so I'm going to make dir secret. I'm going to make a directory called secret. Watch what happens. If I make a directory called secret, watch on the very right of the graphical user interface of my desktop. You can see a folder called secret just got created. Now if I do an ls-l, you can see by default the secret folder that got created. You can see the D is read, write, execute by owner, me, read and executable by the staff, by the group, and read executable by anyone else in the world. Okay, so I can actually go into cd secret to go into the secret folder. If I do an ls-l, there's no files here. Okay, I want to go back a little bit. I think you may know what trick I want to play now. All right, how do we change file permissions? How do we change file permissions? Let me give you a little primer on Linux file permission. What's a good one? Understanding file permissions. Okay, it's a long read. The way that you change permissions is chmod, C-H-M-O-D. Now, there's a bazillion ways to actually do this. Man, chmod, C-H-M-O-D. Change file modes or access control lists. It's a long-ass document here. I'm going to post this thing here for everyone. It's a long read, but it's, okay? Or you can use numbers. Here's a number. Okay, I like the number method because it's kind of, each write, read, and execute permission have the following numeric value. R is a 4, write is a 2, X is a 1, no permission is 0. Okay? So, if you want something to be read, write, execute, you just add the numbers up. 4, 2, and 1. 7. Yeah, here it is. This is a real good explanation here. So if you want to actually have read, write, execute, it's going to be 7. Okay? If you want to actually have read, execute, it's 4 plus 0 plus 1 is 5. Others is 4 plus 0 plus 0 is 4. Okay? Pretty cool. Alright. So what I'm going to do now is the following. Are you ready? I'm going to make the secret folder a 400. So it's chmod 400 secret. What do you think will happen in plain English? Works. Hit the enter key, bang, done. But what's the problem? What does the R... Oh, now if we do ls minus L, the directory is only readable only. See the difference? That makes sense. Works. chmod 400 secret. Well, the 4 really works. So 4 stands for an R. Readable only. But what's the problem going to be? What's the problem? Come on, someone. Come on. Someone can chime in. Can't open it. What happens if I do cd secret? If I now can't edit. I can't edit it. I can't. Watch what happens if I try to even get into change directory into secret. Permission denied. Okay. Yeah, can't go into it. So what happened if I do chmod 600 secret? Clear the screen, ls minus L, read write, but not executable. If I go to cd secret, I still can't get in because guess what? The secret folder is not executable. So I'm going to chmod 700 secret, which has read write execute by me. ls minus L, cd secret, I can get in. Okay? Alright. How about this one? What is in the gear .txt? What is in this document? Well, let's do a more. Closing, this is Dan Gear's closing note at Source Boston in 2017. View the file. Clear the screen. Now, what happens if I do this? I do chmod 400 gear.source.27iv17.txt. What happens? By the way, 400 is actually a real important mode if you're dealing with security keys. So right now, what kind of a file is gear.source.27iv17.txt? It's a file, but it's only read-only. So if I actually want to do use my favorite text editor, no, we're not going to get into a flame war what your favorite text editor is. I use Vim. If I do Vim gear.source whatever yada yada .txt. Watch what happens when I open this file in Vim. If I do an insert, change only to changing a read-only file. Want a read-only file? 400. Blah 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 blah. Now if I try to write the file, W, read-only set, no. Okay. So now I just changed gear.source.27iv 17.txt to be read only. Okay. Move MV. Okay. Man MV. Move files. ls minus l. I can move. Watch what happened. I'm gonna move the gear.txt, the gear text file into secret. So the format for MV move is MV source to destination. That's it. ls minus l. So now there are now two files on my desktop: output and secret. If I can do you can actually do ls secret. If it's a secret for directories, you can do an ls for a directory, and you can see that the secret folder now has one file. Guess what? Okay. My terminal says base before the computer name. I don't know what that is. Base before. That's usually your host name. Base? What's that? Hold on. I'm going to look it up. Are you using... here it is. Are you using Ubuntu? I don't know. Weird. Are you using Conda by any chance? No? Are you using I don't know. What does base... Okay, here's another one. Like that? That's weird. I don't know. That's really strange. Base nev. What's NEV? I don't know what NEV stands for. Sorry. Okay. So I'm on my desktop. Now, I have a question for each and every one of you here. Anyone want to take a wild guess what kind of file? Wait a minute. We have a problem. You see output? Oh, environment. Base environment. Yep. Yeah, I haven't used Ubuntu for years. I haven't used Ubuntu. I'm strictly a Debian guy. Well, now you know. All right, here's a question for each and every one of you. This is one of the problems when you don't have a file extension. Right now, output, if you take a look at the file output, there's a timestamp, March 17, 2018. What's my favorite command? Well, I'll get to that in a few moments. My favorite command is what we're going to do, well, a little bit down the road. Output as a file is 2,000, okay, this is a file size, 232,177 bytes. Last updated March 17, 2018. Anyone want to take a wild guess what this file is? One of my favorite commands is this, the file command. File command determines the file type. This is one of my biggest pet peeves is when people use either spaces in their file names because they don't work because they're a pain in the ass to work with on a Linux environment, or you don't have a file extension. So please, when you actually write a goddamn README, put either readme.md or readme.txt. File extensions are really important. But what the file command do is can actually determine what the file type is. Watch what happens. Ooh. Output. This output file is a PNG image data. Okay, it looks like we have PNG here. So one thing that you can do is you can, well, it would be awfully nice if we can actually rename output to output.png with the proper file extension. Now that we've run file on the damn thing. So one way to rename a file, if you're on a desktop, and just click on the file and add a extension on here. You can do one. You can do. Here's a fun hack for you to rename a file. Watch what happens. You can do a. Didn't we use the move command MV a few moments ago? Move file. So you can move output to output dot png. That's move can not only move a file, but it's a quick hack to rename a file. Watch what happens. When a file permission have no D instead of a dash, mean it's just a regular readable file. Yeah, when it's a dash, it means it's a file, like a text file, an image, or something you can open up and like see. Okay, like a text file, picture, movie. Those don't have a D or an L or anything. Watch what happens when I rename output to output.png, this time with the proper file extension. Boom. Now, I can just open the file. And that's your picture. Yeah. That's the PNG. There you go. The WTF girl. Yeah. That's your picture. File extension. Really important. Oh. If I do an ls minus L again, if I do an ls minus L, you can see that the timestamp on output.png has not changed. March 17, 2018. I want to introduce you to another command, man touch. Okay, what the touch command does is file access and modification. Change the file access and modification times. Okay, if you want to modify the timestamp of a file, do a touch output. And I do an ls minus L, you can see it's now updated today's date and time. How does a file, that question, I love that question. How does a file command work? Actually, hold on, that question. Man file. File tests each argument and what it does is, here it is, okay, for Mr. Lord Falcon, great question. How does a file command determine what type of file it is without the file extension? It's actually in the man. It's actually in the man page. File tests each argument in an attempt to classify it. There are 3 sets of tests performed in this following order. File system test, magic test, and language tests. The first test that succeeds causes the file command to be printed. Yeah, and so all those tests take like a fraction of a second. Here it is. The file system tests are based on examining the return of the stat system call. Pretty deep stuff, Mr. Lord Falcon. That's why man pages are not for newbies, are not for learners, but they do give you comprehensive details on how it actually works many of the times. There it is. Great question. Okay. Now, here's a fun question for you. What happens if I do touch? Oh, I'm going to clear the screen. ls minus F. I do touch, and I type garbage.txt. Does anyone actually know what would happen if I do touch and space a name of a file that doesn't exist on my my current directory? Does anyone actually want to take a guess what happens? If you run touch on a file on your directory that doesn't happen, yeah, that's what creates it. Just creates it. Create a 0-byte file. Yep, it actually does create the file. Okay, it actually does create the file. Alright, if you want to remove a file, rm garbage.txt. There you go. Okay. Let's go to secret. Yeah, VibZ28. Read the man page for file. Is read write? Okay, this is a good question. Is dash read write dash read dash dash read a default for everyone when you use touch? I believe it does. Man touch. That's a good question. I guess so. I'm not entirely sure. That's a good question. My student. I'm not entirely sure about that one. I can't give you a straight answer for student 2076. Yada yada. I can't answer that question. It's a good one though. Okay. Oh, remember how I kept on saying that the up arrow, if you click on the up arrow on the keyboard, it goes back to your previous command? You know, you hit the up arrow on the keyboard, you go back to your previous command. Well, a very important one. You type history, you get your whole command line history. Yeah, you get your whole command line history. Oh, clear. Command history. Oh, it's one of these generic ones. Okay. So the history command just shows you a history of all the commands that you've ever typed in. Yep. So we have done, all right, touch, change mod, oh, we've done history, we've done more, cat, uptime. Is history just for the session or across the machine's life? In this case, for me, it's for the machine's life until I close it. Not just for the current. Oh, hold on. I'll just prove it to you. You ready? Rich man, poor man is a great question. I'm going to exit. Process complete. I'll quit out of this as well. You ready? I closed it. I'm going to get out of my terminal. Process complete, quit. If I open up my terminal again, if I type history, get everything. So, no is not just for the session. It's across the machine's life. Hope that answers your question. Great question, rich man, poor man. Really good question. Uptime. What uptime is how many users on a system and a load average. So here's a little hack for you. If you ever want to see how busy a system is, especially for all you students at Tufts Computer Science, if you're actually SSH into homework.cs.tufts.edu, these three numbers will actually show you how busy the system is. So if I man uptime, show how long the system has been running. Okay? And the load average on the system over the last 1, 5, and 15 minutes. Okay? Now, if I do ssh homework.cs.tufts.edu, let me log in as v. Yeah. Okay, I'm logged in. Now, I'm not on my Mac anymore. I'm remotely connected to homework.cs.tufts.edu by way of the secure shell command, SSH. Clear the screen. So, I'm on a different environment now. I'm connected to the Tufts Computer Science homework server. But as you can see, a lot of the commands that I did earlier had, they actually apply over to homework.cs.tufts.edu. A different environment, a different operating system. In fact, it's Red Hat Linux. You can find out the distribution of your system by something called uname. Oh, uname minus A. Some GNU Linux or something. If I open up a different shell, a different tab window, if I do uname minus A, you get a different answer. Darwin is usually it's a code name for basically Mac OS Linux. So if I do uptime on the homework server, the server's been up for 23 days. There are 13 users on here. Load time is pretty low. Not bad. You know that things are going real bad if the load average are going over 3, 4, 5, 6. I've seen up to 10 to 15 before. That's usually really bad when there's a ton of users, i.e., right before an assignment is due. CD tilde, okay, PWD, Tufts CS, Tufts Computer Science Server have a /h instead of /users for a home directory. So let's quit. Connection to homework.cs.tufts.edu closed. Okay. So I'm going to go back to my desktop again. Okay. So I am going to go into my secret folder, CD secret. One other command that is really nice to have is if I do more, if you don't feel like typing out an actual full name of the file, you do more star, which is a wildcard.txt. So what this will do is open up any txt file. Corinthians. There you go. So if I actually clear the screen now, ls-l, it's only a readable file. If I actually do more star.jpg, this makes no sense because there's no JPEG file. Okay. But what I want to do is how to chain commands. Okay, so if I do cat star.txt, this will just spit out the entire file. But have anyone ever used a command called grep before? Grep. Grep is a utility search for any given input file, search lines that matches one or more pattern. So a good thing is, grep is used to find like certain patterns in a file. So if I do grep Corinthians and star.txt, it'll find the line, it'll actually spit out the line that has the word Corinthians in the text file. Yeah. So grep is your friend to find certain words or all that, for find certain words in a file. If you want a list of all the human readable strings in a file, strings. Find the printable strings in an object or a binary file. So if I do strings, star.txt will open up. Boom. All the human readable text. There you go. Clear the screen. Yep, clear the screen. I'm going to go up to my desktop. I'm at CWE. PWD, I'm in my user/mchow desktop folder. You may be curious, is it possible to do a cat on, what is it like if you do cat or more on a picture, a binary file like a picture? Well, we have an example. What happened when you do cat space output.png? Gerplord, yes. So here's the deal. This is what happened when you try to spit out a binary file to a terminal. Very doable, very okay, but sometimes some weird behavior, such as like the noise that was made by the terminal. Yeah, but this is all output.png, that WTF girl that is here. This is the entire picture, all binary data. Yeah, that's all binary data, folks. This is all output.png. So what happened if I clear the screen and I do strings output.png? These are all the human readable text in the string. Strings are your friend to find gold sometimes. Yeah, there could be a lot of secrets sometimes that can be revealed if you run strings on a file. Yes. Okay. So, oh, yes, about this madness. I want to go back go back into my home directory cd tilde. I gotta clear the screen. So you may be seeing that I have been doing ls minus l a lot. Okay. I do ls minus l so I can see everything. File permission, owner, group of a file. But my day-to-day work, I usually like ls minus la. Okay, now what's the difference between ls minus l versus ls minus la? As you can see, ls minus la shows a lot more than ls minus l. ls minus la also lists hidden files. Files that you will not see in a directory. So if I actually go to my my home directory, this is how it looks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things. I'm going to clear the screen and do it again. ls minus l. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, so it matches up very well. Very well here. Matches up really well. But what I don't like to do, what I like to do is not ls minus l, I do ls minus la. And why ls minus la? ls minus la also shows me files that actually begin with a dot. Very important concept here. What do you think a file that begins with a dot means? Sam, hold on. Great question. A file that begins with a dot. Let's say like good one. What's a good? Okay, .gemrc. A dot file is a hidden file. Yes, a hidden file. But if I do more gemrc, it's not going to work. There's no such file. But if I do more .gemrc, there's only one line. Okay. Any file that begins with a dot is a hidden file. Is what you call a hidden file. In a lot of configuration files for your environment are dot files. Okay. If you type ls minus la slide, will it show all the files? No, only for. Okay, that's a great question by ypark12. I'm gonna clear the screen. If you actually type in ls minus la and then the root directory will show all the files in the computer, the answer is no. It will only show you all the file and hidden file in that directory, which is the root. Only the root directory. Great question. Okay. Very good question. Now, I'm going to go back to Sam's question. Is there a way to search for a file with a specific name in subdirectories? Like if you can't... Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go cd tilde desktop. Clear. I'm going to move output.png into secret. So now the secret folder has two files. If I do ls minus l, cd secret, l, 2 files. But if you do ls minus l, there's like, anytime you do ls minus la, the first 2 files that you will see are dot and dot dot. Period. Like full stop. Anytime you do ls minus la, the first 2 files that you will see are dot, the current directory, and dot dot, the directory above. Now, Sam0218, is there a way to search for a file within a specific directory, like with a specific directory, like if you can't remember? Yeah, absolutely there is. Called a find. Find. Man, find. Our good friend find. Walk a file directory. Find is really, really, really complicated. It can be really complicated. Basically also known as search. So I'm going to clear the screen. If you want, let me just say, if you want to find, how find works is find in the current working directory, space minus name, and output dot JPEG. This is wrong. Watch what happens. It's going. What this will do, it will try to find in the current working directory and subdirectory is a file name output.jpg. Notice nothing. What happens if I do output.png? Yep, it's right there. It'll show you where in the directory it is. Actually, I'll do one better. I'm in my secret folder. I'm gonna actually make dir subdir. I'm gonna do a make a directory called subdir move output.png subdir. So now a folder has a folder and a file, and subdir has the WTF girl in there. So I'm in my secret directory now, but I have a subdir. So I'm gonna do ls subdir, and it should have output.png. Watch what happens when I run the find function again. Does this help Sam0218? Sam0218? Like that? Now, what happens if you actually don't know that? It gets even better. What happens if you are not 100% what the file is, but you actually remember a piece of the file name? You can just use wildcards. Match any file that actually have output in there. Oh, shit. Forgot that double... find space dot space minus name and then output. Okay. Now you can also, here's a fun example. What happened if you do you type in the letter T, find any file name that has a letter T in there. There you go. There you go. Find is one of those functions that is, find can be really complicated and elaborate. Okay. All right. We're almost, well, shit, we're out of time. Well, good day. I want to go to subdir, and I want to do a remove on output.png. Now, in order to remove a directory, it's remove dir, rmdir, subdir. Okay. Now, that's good, but I'm going to go back a directory. So I have a folder called secret, ls secret. Still has one file in here. However, you can't do a remove dir of, you can't remove a directory that has stuff in it. Directory's not empty. Yeah, that's a great question, Vibe. Is there a way to search for specific strings in a directory, files under a directory? Yeah, and the answer is grep. Grep. You can do a combination of find and grep as well, too. The answer to Vibe 28, yep, absolutely. Well, okay, you can't remove, okay, rm is to remove a file. Rmdir is to remove directories only. Now, if all else failed, and please do not try this at home, kids, one of my absolute favorite command of all time is rm-rf star. Don't do this at home, kids. rm-rf star will actually blow away all files recursively, in your current working directory. So what happened, if I want to blow away the secret directory and everything that's under it, I do rm-rf. Again, please don't do this at home, kids. Be careful. Boom. Execute and run. Alright, well, I got a question here, which is, what's the difference between find and where? Yeah, what is where? Man, where? What? Find versus... There is where is. Where is, oh, that's Windows land. Yeah, and never do this with the... Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, where... What is a where command? Where is Python? Oh, where doesn't even exist on the stamps. Well, that's weird. I've never heard of where. I know where is. Where is locate programs? Where is Python? Really? Where is Python 3? Ah, that one. Yeah, there's no Python in this. Where is and that. Yep, there it is. /op/homebrew. All right. Yeah, where is, it just shows the location of programs. And that, folks, I think that's a very good primer. Oh, there is also sudo. If you want temporary root access, you do sudo prior to a command. If you actually do this on, I'm going to give you a warning, if you do this on a managed environment where there's an administrator like a Tufts Computer Science, you will get yelled at. Okay? Sudo is reserved for systems that you own and have access to. So, folks, that's it, folks. That's all I got for today. We're really out of time. But the very important key is, your big takeaway is, real basic hands-on skills, the command line. And don't worry if you actually feel overwhelmed by the command line, because it takes years, if not decades, to be really good and comfortable with this. No one becomes a master of the command line overnight. And with that thing, take care, folks. Stopping the stream.